Hi Jess. Today we're going to talk about data-driven decision making. That's our episode number 6 of a series. Again, as usual, we'll start with the environmental impact of the digital transformation towards the digital maturity model. How does utilizing data analytics promote sustainable business decisions? That's the interesting one. IoT is something I want to start with. Many years ago, when I heard this term the first time, I was wondering, what is this Internet of Things? We are all in the Internet. We all are in this place. What is this Internet of Things? It's so vague. But today I'm realizing how everything is connected today. And life is so scattered, so connected, and so well organized, at the same time complex. So data in decision making. In that perspective, data can help understand customer preferences, including for sustainable products. That means when we check for customer browsing, we check for purchase history of a customer and engagement trends on the digital properties, we understand them much better. And then when we segment them and allows brands to deliver tailored ads and emails for promotion, it gives personalized experience, and that's exactly what we should be doing using the data in order to grow on the business. The tools available today that uses AI and analytics and insights to check voice of customer from all over the places, including social media, reviews, and feedback, help them understand customer sentiments. That's important to understand the emotional aspect and frustration of the customers. And all that information can be used to shape strategies by aligning demand and supply and reduce waste. When we are not throwing resources all over the places and we are organizing all of those to focus on the targeted marketing, that's the efficient use of our resources. I think that's exactly we all should be doing, instead of going to the all directions, go one focused direction and use the resources wisely. Okay, and then data intelligence can be used with smart sensors and AI to control lighting, heating, and cooling systems, reducing unnecessary energy usage. That's true. People are so neglecting and so careless about using these resources when we are at work, when we are at hotels, when we are at public places. It starts by your own habits. Set by example, and then it can impact big time. So I have read that Google uses AI-powered cooling systems in data centers, reducing energy use by 40% and lowering its carbon footprint. That's the perfect example. And it's not just Google. It's one example I'm using right now, but there are a lot of companies doing it. A lot of, the whole ecosystem is built around eco-friendly, sustainability, and green energy, renewable energy, and all those things. So, but still, there are some gray areas where it's done only for marketing and business. In order to be true sustainable, that data can really help nail down the gaps in that, so that startups and new businesses can really fill that gap. And data-driven strategy can help optimize hybrid work models, recommend days, and divide staff by functions and routes to commute. That's tricky because companies are doing 3 days a week to office. What are those 3 days? Is it same for all, or is it distributed by regions, by functions, by teams, by floors, by projects? So how it is done? Data can help determine all those groups, and so that carpooling can be promoted, and public transport can be used and leveraged in that sense. And also in one portion of the office can be used, and then so electricity can be consumed very well. But again, it is very cumbersome if it is done manually. So data and analysis are definitely very useful to decide all these factors to save energy and help. How about you?
Yeah, so basically, I think data doesn't lie, right? Or at least clean data doesn't lie, which then I think ultimately it helps some companies to make informed decisions. It reduces a lot of guesswork, as I've observed countless times, or too many times, that decisions were being made purely by a bunch of management executives sitting around a meeting room and then having like an echo chamber situation, just echoing whatever the CEO is saying, just because they don't have a complete narrative of what's really happening. They don't have a complete picture of what's happening out there. And which is why a consistent and continuous stream of data, especially in real time, can actually help guide, for example, your client facing people in providing customers with accurate information about their accounts, their state of relations with you, or their transactions. It can save them a trip to the branch or your store, or even from calling into your call centers and jamming up your lines. And a step further actually is also to even allow for these customers to do the self-help, get access to their information on your app, on your platform. That way you empower them and you reduce the workload for your call centers, you reduce the call volumes. I think your customers will be happy as well because they can actually get the answers on the fly. They don't have to wait on the line. And, having like data as well, you will help with inventory forecasting, better inventory forecasting as well as management to reduce waste. So I think these are all what data intelligence can help companies with, making better forecasting, predictions, analysis, and ultimately making better decisions.
Have you watched that documentary By Now on Netflix? If you have not, then definitely you should. It's all about this, like over manufacturing, over purchasing, and then a lot of waste. And even if you, when you see that recycle icons on the print on the packages, how how fake those are too. Like there are no real regulations behind to handle like how what recycle type to handle like in what way. So that's an eye opener. Like we should also avoid over purchasing. That's the title of the documentary By Now, because like By Now is a clickbait, so we end up buying a lot of deals, and every day there are some of the packages being delivered to our doorstep. Ended up like a lot of returns, a lot of waste purchases, and things we buy keep sitting somewhere in the house, never used. So yeah, again, it is very anti-environment habit of people that we have, including myself. Like in my family, like a lot of stuff we bought recently is not being used. When yeah, but like yeah, we are catching up. Yeah, we are being cautious moving forward. Yeah, be careful. Okay, so let's move to our financial implications area. What are the cost savings associated with data informed decisions? I think whatever we have discussed now already are all applicable in terms of saving costs. Because if we help save energy, it's not just saving energy from the grid, but also saving cost of using energy. And if then everything directly or indirectly help reduce costs. Coming from the digital marketing side, I would talk about paid campaigns right now, because that's what all marketers are prioritizing to generate demand. And in that perspective, there are good tools available, but we should consider optimizing allocation of budget very, very carefully, because paid campaigns can go very, very expensive, and it drains your lot of money without even generating good results that you're expecting. You should really improve campaign efficiency by prioritizing personalized digital experiences. I mean, if you have your digital channels talking to each other well, using that data behind the screen, and have good logical algorithms in place to address your audience and their experience on your digital channels with relevant data, reliable information, and on a high performance side. I think doing all this, you can save a lot of money from paid campaigns and still deliver a good experience to your audience. What personalized digital experience does based on data intelligence, I mean, that is for starters, like who don't know what personalized digital experience really means at scale. Based on data intelligence, it serves the right content to the right audience at the right time. It is not one content served all of your audience. It's like same segment can have different content based on their engagement activities with you, based on their history of communications with you, and based on their preference using third-party data and intent signals to understand what they really want, so you can present that information. So using all that, you can reduce a lot of energy usage because you are using your resources exactly to the point, to the need of user, and at the same time also saving cost of various processes. Because if you want to do at scale, if you want to serve same content to everybody, I mean, you will have a lot of extra number of requests processed by your systems. And it saves a bunch of resources and time overall and helps even much better way because you are organically driving demand than paying. And it's more scalable because when you stop paying money to those campaigns tools, your demand will drop. But in this case, that'll scale, or at least it will sustain. And on the infrastructure space side, I think that's another way to save cost because you're sitting in the data center full of racks and servers versus subscribing similar infrastructure or about same on the cloud side will actually save a lot of on-prem hardware, your real estate, that you can use that space for something else, maintenance cost and maintenance stuff also, and then storage costs because you have flexible storage on the cloud. You don't have to buy like petabytes of disks, even if you're not using it in full. On cloud, you can scale as you need on the storage side. So you have a flexible cost factor as well on that side. So all that also, again, like using data of your usage, your need, your predictions, and your future plans, you can scale up on the infrastructure side at cloud as well. And another option you can also leverage is hybrid cloud because sometimes because of nature of data, privacy, regulations in that area, or the locations or the performance need, at times on-prem infrastructure is more preferred for whatever reason. So in that case, like you can still have a secure tunnel in between your on-prem and cloud infrastructure and create a hybrid model to divide your cost. And finally, these data-driven strategies are not just about insights. They are a major driver of cost savings across the board at a company level. So data is a deal breaker. Use it or use wisely. Yeah, so it helps.
When it comes to financial implications and cost savings, I think marketing insights combined with customer insights are just about the most accurate insights you can get at just a combination of what they do as well as what they say. It helps to guide your campaign strategy. It helps with product positioning and even messaging and how you can better serve their needs. It takes away the guesswork, as I mentioned previously, in terms of what's working versus what's not across all of your marketing channels right now and your sales channels. It will save you money especially if you are already investing quite a bit with product research and development, for example, why not go a step further to validate your hypothesis with user testing? You reduce your cost of acquisition as well if you can focus more on retention, which has been proven time and again to be more cost effective for companies in the long run. You save costs on media ad spend by targeting the same customers, same way again and again when they're not responding without any data-driven logic behind it. But if you're empowered with data, you know why they're not responding. You try, you do A/B testing, you try again, and if it really doesn't respond, sometimes it's just not meant to be. Then maybe when they see something else, when the timing is right again, they see something being served in a different way, they might come around to it. So we kind of need to make very conscious decisions using data to make sure that we're targeting customers across all of their decision-making journey or their buyer readiness kind of journey.
Awesome. Yes. I think I mentioned before, 80% of the revenue comes from 20% of your existing customers. So retention is the key. That's true. So spend 80% of efforts to save your existing customers. Right. Okay, so let's move on to operational efficiency. In what ways does data analysis improve process efficiencies? Predictive data analysis is the key. It can tell you what you should change versus what to keep in your workflows to reveal good results that is aligned to your organizational goals. So how to do that? I mean, that is even a better question to ask, like predictive analysis. With AI, with different tools, and based on your historic experience and learning, there are several ways to do that. But at least from the basic standpoint, every now and then, I also run a check with my teams to analyze what to change. I mean, that's both qualitative and quantitative analysis, what to keep, what to stop, what to start. But we have to make sure, and we always do that, every recommendation that we have on the table should be backed by data. People are subjective to their preferences, to their convenience zone, or to their personal preference. Like, okay, we should do things like that, but that's okay. I mean, if you are strong on some habits, let's do that, of course. But at a team level, whatever we want to change, introduce new process or stop doing something or automate few things, we have to, and we do that backed by data comparison and what is that expected result if we make that change. And it has been really good thing that I do, and we have introduced so many good processes, we have automated so many processes, and we in fact sometimes changed roles in the team. Sometimes like people hired for may not be doing that good on their roles, but like I experimented within team with some changes in the roles and sometimes giving extra flexibility to the team member, and that helped me a lot. And it helps me sleep well at night too, because building that trust and giving that flexibility in the culture brings loyalty also in the mix. I'll give you an example of my personal experience. So let's take a situation like when you have a lot of workload, when you have large teams, many stakeholders, several tools, and multiple projects, and of course there will be problems too. That reflects me from about 12 years ago when I picked up a role and everything was so chaotic. And all of a sudden I had to adopt all those problems and I had to own those as well. I was answerable like for all the problems that's been happening even since before me taking over that role. But I still had to answer all those things even if I didn't make those mistakes. But similar to these lines I just mentioned, like quick check. All I did was I set up a quick dashboard for visibility about the pipeline of workload, the source of all the workload, work allocation within the team, time to complete those tasks, SLA status on individual level and at a team level, projects aging, and had some automated risk flags in place. I called it radar tool at that time. I mean, radar is like everything is visible within that graph. So, I mean, it's very interesting. I named that radar report, and guess what? I got lesser chaos. And like, things were so easy and so smooth after that. I mean, that got even lesser over time. And how was that possible? All because of considering data behind the screen. And unless we cannot quantify the matter, we cannot really improve on that. We cannot really change the thing. Well, we cannot measure it again after making changes if we don't have quantitative information. So data really helped me at that time, and using it correctly is the way to go here. I'm sure what I did in few months at that time, it took me like months to do that. I mean, it wasn't overnight. Okay. But today we have many tools available, many technologies available. AI can help do that, like I think within weeks or even days now. I mean, it's so simple to do all these things now, which I took like months to develop a reporting system like Radar. It's my own name. So data really speeds up decision making. It brings visibility. It helps you support your gut feel as well. Not just speeding up, but also increasing the probability of success. So yeah, I mean, I love data.
When it comes to operational efficiency, I think you brought up a few good points here in terms of the workloads and multiple stakeholders. I personally find that there is a lot that is being done on a day-to-day level, which data can help. Other than, of course, data analysts can help businesses make more accurate forecasting and predictions of revenue, cost projections, be it a month-on-month or year-on-year basis, taking into account what customers are spending with you versus not spending with you. And then you can combine that with trend analysis of what's happening currently, what's buzzing on the social platforms through social listening based on what they're talking about you, your competitors, or in general about the industry. You can get a lot more insights as well as to why they might not be buying from you or spending as much with you anymore. Are they spending with your competitors? Are they spending somewhere else entirely outside of the market or on other channels that you're not providing that channel for? And of course, another aspect, as I mentioned, that you brought up a good point, is just better workload analysis based on the volume of projects versus the manpower versus the time that's being spent on a periodic basis, or better forecasting of your resourcing needs. Many aspects, in fact, be it business, financial, headcount forecasting, the possibilities are endless as long as you have the data sources connected and you have clean data and accurate data available.
Yeah. Excel sheet reminds me. I was talking to somebody. I forgot the person actually. I was talking in person with somebody, and we were discussing CRM systems. Okay, so I was because I know at enterprise level, Salesforce is very, very, like, I think that's the number one CRM that most large scale companies use. HubSpot is picking up quite well. Zoho is another player in the market at scale. For startups and small level companies use Zoho. And I was like discussing CRM, and I randomly asked, like, which CRM you guys use? I mean, the person was from a decent company. I said, we're not using CRM, we're using Excel sheets. So it was, it's funny. I mean, Excel is capable, very efficient tool, very lightweight and powerful tool, but definitely there are much better options available today. At the time, like when Excel was built, of course, it was like a magic of the time, but now there are many tools available. People who don't want to grow are actually comfortable on Excel. Otherwise, I think there are a lot of options. All right, let's switch to customer experience. How does data-driven insight lead to personalized customer experiences? The question has the answer in it. So personalized customer experience cannot be done without data. That's the bottom line. Data analytics maps customer interactions across channels, enabling hyper-personalized engagement at every touch point. We need to understand what people are doing on our channels and capture every single touch point, every single interaction, and then find patterns of customer journeys, like what works, what's not working, and what are those success paths where people are bouncing back, and all those things. Whatever data is generated based on that, Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics, and Content Square, very nice tools available that can help us understand our customers' behavior on our properties. So even like cameras these days in real retail stores are understanding customer behavior within the physical premises. So yes, but to give personalized customer experience, data is must. So you are in marketing, I'm in marketing. Let's imagine a situation in which like a visitor comes to your website, and let's say your system understands that the visitor coming to your website is actually from the targeted account that you have been trying to make a deal with. Okay. So if you know that someone is coming to your website, you can really customize your message and show the relevant information to influence your deal. Now imagine your system behind your website tells another system about the intent signal of that visitor to your property and an opportunity score and a recommended message based on your recommendation engine in the backend. An email is triggered with a very nice customized message to that person, because your data will also tell you the email address of that person and the history of the interaction of that person. And then you send an email, not you, its system sends an email automatically to that person with a tailored message and the call to action to generate lead or to convert whatever the action is, and offer highly relevant information. And do you see it's possible in this quick format without any data, without any automation? No. So this is only possible because you have enough data, you have enough sources in your technical ecosystem to understand your audience, to understand different trigger points and understand business expectations of your audience, and what are those different segments and relevant content that you can offer to that audience. So if to do all that within minutes, you need data, you need automation in place, you need good technology in your system. And you may be able to do that like with handful of visitors on your website yourself, but talking about 10,000 visitors a day. Okay. You need a lot of data. And that's what the beauty of data is, that you can do personalized customer experience at scale. You can target every single person differently on your website or differently on your digital channels. And you can send customized email every day to that 10,000 people in an automation way. That's the value of being data-driven. Personalized experience at scale without data is not possible. Now AI that can find and listen to even voice of customers at scale and analyze customer feedback, as you also mentioned, like from social sites, from reviews, from different chat sources, to adopt messaging and improve experiences even faster. So all that information is going where? In somewhere in the data center, in the data lake that you can leverage. Things like data-backed chatbots can handle customer interaction in a more personalized manner. Imagine the same situation I just mentioned. Okay, to the same person, instead of before even sending that email, before even that person bounced back, chat trigger to that person, hey Robert, How can I help you? So imagine how much Robert will be surprised by seeing that message from a chatbot automatically, right? So in that case, personalization should be prioritized, okay, and be more data driven in that case. So intent signal, there are tools available, and I'll talk about that later. There are tools available that gives us intent signals to predict the next expected behavior of the person on our website or digital property, and efficient, and so that like we can be ready for that action and efficiently satisfy customer expectations at the right time. So that's how we can leverage data insights towards personalized customer experience.
I think we are all like really obsessed with customer experience. So then I mentioned just now about social listening. That besides that, there's also sentiment analysis now about the broader consumer trends. And you can actually have sentiment analysis on voice calls and AI-powered chatbots right now. And these will actually measure some nuances as well, whether they are feeling happy, whether they are stressed, whether there's some sort of distress even. And it will support your call center or your front office people who is managing the other end of the line or the other end of the conversation to help navigate or mitigate any kind of angry situations and learn how to diffuse it appropriately, ahead of time. So because sometimes it's really hard if it is really just purely based on a chat, a type written kind of text, or it's based on voice. Some people can. It is very nuanced and it's very, very minor. But then with AI, they can actually sense that. So then I think ultimately it's about bringing the focus back on your customers, right? Providing that personal touch to your customers in terms of their interactions with you. With data, you can form a 360 profile of your customers. You can have a complete picture of their relationship with you, what they need, what they already have with you versus what they might be getting from your competitors, or anything that you think that actually they would need, but they are not aware of it yet. Then that is your opportunity to maybe educate them about this need through content, through seeding content, and so on. So I think luxury retail, they do a great job at this. They have a very robust, normally a very robust client engagement platform and automation platform, as well as the CRM. They know what you have bought before, and then they equip their client advisors ahead of time with these tools so that they can consistently check the customer's profile. So that even before they enter the shop, the client advisors already know that, okay, from this season's favorite, I think my customer who have bought this, she or he would probably like this kind of look. And then they can actually help put some styling together and share with their client ahead of time, and then invite them to a certain launch event. And then when the launch event comes, they are already ready with all the looks that they know that their clients will like. So then it is that very personalized touch, right down to serving them their favorite snacks, their favorite drink, and knowing that how they would like to shop, how they like to make shopping decisions, because some people just really want to be kept in the corner. They want to be undisturbed for a couple of hours till they make that decision, while some they really want close attention of the client advisor, just giving them advice on the fly. So these are all very personalized touches, but you won't be able to have that if you don't have profile with your customers, if you don't have the data on that. So I think ultimately it is all about how you make use of the data.
True. Great example. You cannot do it without data. Or you need like one staff member per customer to give that personalized experience. That's not possible. All right. With that, that's a wrap of our episode number 6, data-driven decision making. Thank you, Jazz. We'll get back with our next topic soon.